Welcome back to Bitcoin Mastery. In this video, I'm going to show you how to set up your trades and what indicators to use in order to be profitable when trading in the cryptocurrency markets. Trading is a lot easier than people make it out to be. You just have to stick by a set of principles. Now that is the hardest part. Sticking to the principles that you align for yourself is the hardest part of trading. That's what makes it hard. But I'm going to teach you how to stick to those principles and use price levels, certain indicators, and a time frame to determine your entries and exits with a trade. So if you're very new to trading, like you're very basic, this is your first time seeing a chart, each of these candlesticks is represented by time, okay? What makes a candlestick is buyers and sellers. As you can see, the red candlesticks means that we closed each time frame, we closed at a lower price. And the green candlesticks means that basically the bulls, which are the people that believe the market is going higher, they won that time frame. Okay, so as you can see right now, we are trending upwards in Bitcoin. We do want to look at a time horizon. Okay, so when determining if you want to start trading, you have to determine what time frame am I going to be trading. Am I going to be day trading? If you're going to be day trading, then you need a shorter time frame. So you're going to click right here. And by the way, I'm on tradingview.com. I'll include a link down below. I have the pro version, which is, I believe, $9.95 a month. And this is just very helpful to have because the charting is amazing. I use my charts, my trading view, as my tool to determine when I'm getting into a trade. And then I switch over to GDAX or Coinbase or Gemini to execute my trades. So Coinbase and GDAX and Gemini are going to be just used for trade execution, and TradingView will be used as a tool to determine my trades. Okay, so if we're doing a day trade, I'm going to switch this to probably a 5-minute to anywhere from a 15 to 5-minute chart. But when you are doing a 5-minute chart, you're trading a lot quicker, okay? So you're going to be in and out of these trades for small percentages, right? Maybe $100 moves, like this move right here from 7,000 to 7,100, okay? So if you're going to day trade, where do you start, okay? And I would start off by drawing some trend line supports, okay? And trend lines just show you where buyers and sellers have consolidated and agreed on price, but they haven't agreed if we should push higher or lower, okay? So I would draw trend lines kind of like this, very simple, okay? We can see there was some trend line support right here at the 6,800 level and a little bit of resistance at this 6,900 level. We can also see some support, newer support, because when we break through a resistance line like this, right, this resistance now becomes support. So let's go ahead and draw some more trend lines. We can also identify where can we identify the next level of resistance. I guess you can say it would be at the 7,100 level that we broke through, right, and created some longer support, right? And it became support because we bounced off this level of price multiple times. It was a support level. And the only reason it does that is because there's buyers right here. There's big buyers. As you can see, if we click on indicators and put in volume, we could kind of see where those buyers were. And let me go ahead and click volume. And now that we have volume in there, you can see right here, there was a large spike of volume, right? Right here, some more volume in there, some buyers. Right here, some more volume. So basically these points where, Bitcoin did not break below and created some support was because there's large buyers right here willing to buy up Bitcoin at 7,100, okay? And once the sellers get tired of selling because there's still so many buyers right here, we start breaking through new levels, and I'll draw some more trend line. This would be resistance, okay? Because as you can see, this is a 7,300 level. There was also some sellers up here, Okay, there's a big seller right here. As you can see, the red volume right here. Big sellers, price came down, bounced up, some more sellers, price came down, bounced up, more sellers, and then traveled all the way down to this support level. Okay, I'm just trying to help you understand, how to get where the market's going and how to kind of track that, because once you get used to this, it just becomes second nature and you kind of know where the market's going to go based off how many times it's bounced off support or resistance. Okay, and as you can see, when it bounced off this last time, what we call this right here, let's see if I could draw this. What we call that, this area right here, those two areas are a double top. Okay, that's what's called a double top. It's called a double top is because we hit that resistance level of 7,300 twice and could not break through. Therefore, the price fell extremely lower back down to support. Okay. Obviously, this was a quadruple bottom. We had much support right here, a lot of buyers, and eventually the buyers came through and broke through this resistance level of 7,300 and made its way up to new highs. And that's where the next resistance level will be established, is at the new highs of 7,500. Okay, so when we break through resistance, we make new support, and we also make new resistance levels, which are the newest highs. Okay, 7,500 would be the newest highs, and this is all in one day. Okay, this is all one day because this is a 5-minute chart. So each candlestick is 5 minutes. So if we extend this trend line out to make sure that we have that 7,300 level as previous support, we can see that we broke through. There was extreme volume right here. As we can see, some extreme buyers in there, and we made new resistance, right? And you could just practice this. I suggest going back, looking at the Bitcoin price, saying, you know what, I want to day trade or I want to swing trade, pick a time frame, and then start drawing support and resistance levels so you can see how the market moves, okay? Because once we broke this resistance of 75, we went straight up to 7,800, making new resistance, which we broke very quickly. And now I would say, this wouldn't even be a resistance level. I would move it up here to 7,900. So we are making new highs here on Bitcoin. This is brand new. But if we go back, so this would be day trading, okay? Because we would have to determine a time frame, which would be I'm going to day trade. Then I'd pick a 5-minute chart because we're trading a shorter time frame. I'd draw out my support and resistance and kind of determine where I'm going to get in, okay? If you're going long, meaning you're going to buy because you think Bitcoin is going higher, so you're bullish on Bitcoin, I would never buy at the top of these resistance levels, right? Because you're getting in at a price that's not, basically you're buying high, and when Bitcoin goes lower, your position is now down, right? I know it's cliche, but you want to buy low and sell high, okay? So when determining price entry, we can see once Bitcoin starts consolidating, but we see this bounce here, and we see a price rise, then we know that, okay, this area is an area of support. So this would be a better area to buy. So at the 7,100 level, we know as the price gets closer to 7,100, we know we should probably start establishing a position, maybe at 7,120 or 7,140 to be safe. Establish your position. So basically, if Bitcoin came down here to 7,140, okay, we're going to go over to GDAX. We're going to go limit. And we're going to say, I want to buy one Bitcoin. Let's just say you want to buy a whole Bitcoin. You don't have to. You could buy literally $5 worth. But let's just say I want to buy a Bitcoin at 7,140. You're going to put a limit order in to buy, okay? And you would do that when Bitcoin bounces off here and is now traveling lower, because we see it at 7,250, 7,230. So you just put in your order for 7,140, which is about $40 above the previous previous support. so that you have that limit order in, and when you get filled, right, let's say you put in that 7140 order, you would have got filled, and then Bitcoin would have broke through the next resistance, okay? And where you want to sell on a day trade is when it breaks right through resistance, okay? Once it breaks resistance, you need to put in your sell order if you're day trading, okay? It's not about, day trading is not about, big gains. It's about small gains multiple times a day, okay? So you'd put in your 7140 order, and then maybe you'd put a sell order in at 7340, okay? So you'd made $200 if you were to buy one Bitcoin, okay? So again, once you get filled on that order of 7140, once it executes, you'd go ahead and put in a stop order, okay, a sell order, one Bitcoin at 7340, okay? So you can do that. You can go to sell, or you could put in a limit sell at 7340, and your order would probably execute, as it broke that resistance. So you made $200 profit, within, that was not too many candlesticks. That was probably an hour's worth of time. So that's kind of how you set up your day trades, okay? You never want to buy at resistance levels. That's just not my strategy. I like to buy at support levels and then set stop losses maybe $20 below the support, okay? So if you're buying at 7140, you maybe put a stop right below this support level at 7,050, okay, or 7,040. So you lose 100 to make 200. So it's a 1 to 2. So you could possibly lose $100 to make $200, to make double what you can lose. Okay, so the win when you're day trading, your profit should be double, at least double or triple what you can lose. Okay. Because if you win, 7 times out of 10, you're going to be more profitable because you're profiting double the amount. So remember, buy low, buy at support, and sell high. Once it breaks through that resistance, go ahead and sell into the strength. You can always establish a new position at new support levels. And that's kind of how I take day trading. It's not my favorite thing because I do, if that's you love action, you're patient, you're able to execute these trades in a timely manner, then this might be your strength. This might be something that you profit big off of. For me, I know myself, I get impatient. So for me, I have to take longer term trades. So let's go ahead and look at a longer term time frame. I'm going to look at the 1 hour, okay? And this would be a more longer term position because as you can see, this is back in, October 26th to now, which is November 15th. So we can see that, this type of trade is going to be a more longer term trade. Therefore, we're going to have to set up new support and resistance levels, And one thing that I like to do is set up my indicators. Okay, this is the MACD. This is more of a momentum and trend indicator that has to do with the simple moving averages, the 26-day and the 12 EMA. Basically, what this shows is when these lines cross, it's either a bullish move, meaning the Bitcoin's going up, or a bearish move. And as you can see right here at this point where I'm pointing, we can see that the blue line crossed the red line. Okay, and what that means was we're in a bullish state. And as you can see, obviously Bitcoin had a bullish rally. So I like the MACD as an indicator because when these lines cross, it's either bearish or bullish. Like right here, we can see that that's a bearish indicator because the blue line crossed downwards below the red line. And as we saw a little downturn. Not too much of a downturn, but a little downturn. Another thing I like to add in is the RSI. So this was the MACD. This is the RSI, the Relative Strength Index. You can go here to indicators. You can add your MACDs in here. If we scroll down, your MACD was up there, and your RSI would be down here in the R's, Relative Strength Index. And you can also add some Bollinger Bands if you want. But for right now, I'm going to talk about these two. So the RSI is a momentum oscillator, and this one shows overbought and oversold conditions. So as you can see right now we are getting into that oversold range because we're crossing above this purple line, and Bitcoin has had a nice rally. So I do expect probably more of a pullback, maybe a little bit more of a run, but we're definitely going to have a pullback to the median, okay? Because the market will always revert back to the mean, and that's kind of where I see the market going. Probably have a little pullback to 7,600 and then move a little bit higher. But let's go ahead and see if we add some Bollinger Bands too. So these are the only three indicators I use: the MACD, the RSI, and a simple Bollinger Band, which shows you the standard deviations, which is the percent moves, the percent chances of Bitcoin either going higher or lower. So as you can see, we have crossed this Bollinger Band. We have came out of this Bollinger Channel, meaning that we've had a more of a 2 standard deviation move. That means that Bitcoin is 95% likely to pull back within this channel. So that's kind of a simple indicator that I like to add as well. But let's go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and remove that just for now because it kind of clutters things up. The more indicators does not necessarily mean the better. But let's go ahead and this is a longer term time frame, and I'll kind of show you my trades and the ones that I did, throughout these couple months. Let's go ahead and draw out some trend lines together. As you can see, there was definite support at the 7,400 level and some resistance there, and some support right here at the 3,600 level, which, wow, I can't even remember these times. This was not too long ago, but we broke through that real quick. But these were some longer term support and resistance levels that I was looking at, and once we broke this 4,300 level, we made new highs real quick. And I would say, the next level of resistance would be that 6,200 level, and support would be down here at the 5,100 level. Okay, so this is all I do. I just draw support and resistance levels, and I determine, okay, if Bitcoin is going to come back within these ranges, and you can draw smaller ranges too. There was definitely some support here at 5,600, which I was stating that Bitcoin would come down to during that last downfall, and of course it did. But when it did, it shot up so quickly. I mean, you couldn't even get in at that price. It was just too quick. Let's go ahead and throw in the RSI just so we can see. I could show you kind of what happens when I'm looking at the charts. But yeah, as you can see, I mean, we were definitely oversold here when we hit that 5,600 level. So that was a good indicator, not only on the trend line support and resistance levels, but on the RSI as well. And you just have to determine your time frames like that and your entry points. Okay, you have to draw out your support and resistance levels, because what these mean, this only means that there's big buyers here, and there's also big sellers here. Okay, there's big sellers here, big buyers here, big sellers here, but buyers broke through, made new highs. Okay, here at the 78, what is that, 7,500 level. So my next level to buy would not be right here, because we just broke resistance. This is where people should sell. Okay, but the market, of course, brings in people that buy the highs, and that's what keeps the market going. So, but I would definitely be looking at this 7,000 level as probably my next point of entry, or the 7,500 level. Okay, so what I could do I wouldn't do this shorter term trade, this 7,500 level, unless we saw some confirmation right here and we saw a couple bounces on the 7,500 level. If we saw a bounce that went from, let me just draw it out. If we saw a bounce that went like this, and then we, went like this, and then maybe bounce one more time, that might be a confirmation to set a buy order around 7,550, okay, for a continuation upwards. But if we do cross this 7,500 level, my buy order would be all the way down here, probably at 7,200. Okay, I'd probably set up a buy order somewhere around here, and I'd probably set up a stop order somewhere around 69, okay? Because I'm not willing to take more risk, that much risk. If I buy right here at 72, I'm not willing to risk more than $300 because, you know, my projection is to make double, which would be 600. Okay, and I kind of keep it at that ratio, 1 to 2 ratio. So if I'm risking 1 to make 2, or I'm risking 1 to make 4, you always want to keep your reward bigger than your risk. So this is basically how I draw out my entries and exits, and I go over to GDAX and I put in my orders over here, and that's basically it. It doesn't have to be complicated. If you're looking to do day trading, it's going to be a little bit faster. You're just going to have to be faster with your moves. You're going to have to do your homework the night before and wake up early and, you know, make sure to, you know, set your orders and let it go. But for me, I'm looking at a longer term perspective. You know, when I get in, I'm getting in on these major downturns, these 15 to 30% downturns. When we're at 15% down, I'm already buying. That's my first level of buying. Then when we're down 20%, I'm also buying again. And then 30%, that's my last the last funds that I throw in. And then I just, you know, I go from there. And usually we see a rebound in the market. So when you are trading, make sure to determine your time frame. Number one, determine time frame. Are you day trading or are you swing trading for a week or a month or multiple months? Are you trading for a year? Are you doing a longer term investment? Once you determine your time frame, draw your support and resistance levels using the proper time frame for the candlesticks, right? So if you're doing a day trade, you're going to do a 5-minute. If you're doing more of a longer term, you're going to go 1 hour to 4 hour, depending on how long. And then you set up your support and resistance levels. You set up areas where you want to buy, and then you put in your order, your limit order on where you want to buy, okay? So I hope you enjoyed this video. Take care.